What is going on, guys? It's Laker Nation all day, and how we doing here. It's all about us, and you see it on the screen. Game's not over, but we're gonna win the game, demolishing the Blazers in every facet of the game possible. I mean, defense is there, the offense is there. Really, I mean, we're just motivated. And after last game, after choking the game to the Grizzlies, they were winning the whole time they choked in the fourth quarter, right? To come out the way that they did, their response to end 2021 with a win like this, I mean, really, it can start a winning streak, and they have 5 games at home in a row. This team is finally starting to get healthy. You're starting to see players like Austin Reeves come back. You're starting to see players like Trevor Ariza come back. Okay, it's just a matter of time before Kendrick Nunn and AD both come back. They're probably set to come back in a month or so. So my thing is, this Laker team is finally starting to come together. And people want to say, well, it's against the trash 13-21 Trailblazers. But my point is, you can't take any win for granted. You can't look at a game and say, well, this is just against a trash team, this is a W. That's not how the NBA works. These are professional basketball players, and we see it every time. Teams are capable of upsetting other teams. And we literally just saw the Suns, with the best record in the West, lose to the Celtics, who are 17-19. I mean, this is what I'm talking about. You can't just assume that just because the Lakers are winning now, oh, well, it's just the Blazers. No, the Lakers have been struggling themselves. They have gone through so much adversity. They have gone through so many injuries, COVID cases, whatever the case is. But we got Frank Vogel back, Austin Reeves, Trevor Ariza, Avery Bradley. I mean, it looks good. But let me just go ahead and get into the game, because obviously there's a lot to get into, right? But let me just start off with LeBron James. I mean, you just saw it in the first quarter that he just took over. He wanted to ensure that we're ending this year off with a win. I mean, so far he has 36 points and 13 rebounds. Did this guy just turn 27 or 37? I'm not even so sure at this point. His shooting was on point. His three-point shooting was on point. His defense was on point, right? Him running the fast break. Him shooting a bunch of transition threes. Whatever the case was, LeBron James was dominant, dunking the ball, bringing the energy, and you saw him in the first quarter, second quarter, whatever the case was. Every time he made a big play, he would get the crowd hyped, and that was contagious. The rest of the team just followed his lead, and Russell Westbrook got a triple-double. So far, 15 points, 12 rebounds, 11 assists. I love the way Russell Westbrook has been playing. This game, he's been playing much more efficiently, right? 11 assists, 12 rebounds. You know how hard it is for a guard to get 12 rebounds? I mean, that ensures that the Trailblazers don't get second chance opportunities, and that just ensures that we can start a fast break opportunity, or just any opportunity in general. And Russell Westbrook, along with LeBron James, led the way to our win. I mean, you saw Russell Westbrook dishing it out to players like Carmelo or Malik Monk for three-point shots. So they were looking fantastic. And honestly, all those Westbrook's haters out there, he has a legitimate chance to do something special this year. I believe he is on the team to do so. I believe once this team gets healthy, gets right, this team has the capability to win a championship. I've always believed that, and that's never going to change. It's just a matter of, can they stay healthy? Can they not get COVID cases that ruins the more momentum? We've seen it before, right? They started 16-13. They won their last 6 of 8, and they lost a bunch of players to COVID and injuries. And then they just fell apart. But now you're starting to see them take that next step once again. So, last game we saw them, lead the whole time against the Grizzlies, and they choked the game. This time, they led the whole time against the Blazers, and they're going to win this game. That is the difference between, this game and last game. And that's the progress that they've made in just a couple of days. And let me just talk about Malik Monk for a second, because Malik Monk was a huge reason why we're losing all these games with him being absent, right? I mean, he's just someone who brings the energy, who always can give you a 10 to 15 points per game. He is someone that can just bring that aura, in the sense that the Lakers can just rely on him to get them going as a unit. He has that kind of, he has it. And when I say he has it, I mean that he has the capabilities of making players better around him, making players more wanting to play better, more players to play more motivated. That's what Malik Monk does. And I've always loved Malik Monk, man. I mean, as soon as we signed him, this guy just wants to win. He took a veteran minimum with us so he can win. How many 23-year-olds do that? You know, most 23-year-olds would sign a $40 million contract with a trash team. But you see Malik Monk, he just wants to win. And let me talk about Stanley Johnson, okay? Because we traded Rondo away. I didn't love it, but we were able to keep Stanley Johnson if we want to keep him on our roster, right? We opened up a roster spot so we wouldn't get taxed for it or whatever the case is. Stanley Johnson, listen, 10 points, and I'm not even worried about the points. I am looking at his hustle, his energy, what he brings to the table. It's not about the stats when it comes to Stanley Johnson. Stanley Johnson is a player that any team can use. It doesn't matter what your schemes are offensively, defensively. It doesn't matter how you play, what your identity is. Any team could use a hustler and an energy driven player in Stanley Johnson. And I am just glad he's on our team. You can just see how the team plays more energetically and just more motivated with Stanley Johnson on the court. I mean, that's just the kind of player he is, and he's just trying to prove something. And that's contagious as well. And let me talk about Carmelo Anthony. He's my last player. You know, last game he had an off night, and I was seeing a lot of people being upset with Carmelo Anthony, and it upset me that people were being upset with Carmelo Anthony, because everyone has an off night. Okay, you think about, yeah, we lost to the Grizzlies. That was with Carmelo shooting pretty poorly, and we had to lead the entire game. So you really start to think about the potential that this team has. I mean, it's pretty insane if you ask me. I don't think the record tells the whole story. People are clowning the Lakers now, and they're going to be 18-19. People are not going to think of us as a threat. But I guarantee you, if this team comes together, if this team can stay healthy, come the playoff time, I wouldn't bet against this team. Playoff LeBron with the roster that he has, I'm sorry. The only reason why LeBron has had to go for 35, 40 points a game is because of the fact that everyone's had COVID and injuries and all of that stuff. But I guarantee you, once the playoffs come, if our team is healthy, no one is beating us. I am confident in that, okay? I'm glad that we got our players back, like Austin Reeves, like Trevor Ariza. I'm glad Malik Monk has kind of got back in the flow. I'm glad Avery Bradley is back. Now all we need is Kendrick Nunn and AD. And then we just going to be even better than what we are now. That is my mindset, okay? My mindset is we have the potential to win the championship. And I believe we're on track to do that before COVID and injuries got to us, okay? So we just got to reassess, move forward with what we got, and I think we're going to be just fine. But drop a like if you guys enjoyed the video. Comment down below what your guys' thoughts were on the Lakers just demolishing. I mean, absolutely demolishing. You think about, you know, the 2020 championship team and how they took care of business by demolishing these kind of teams, right? And subscribe more. All right, guys, peace out and go Lakers.